Hey everybody, welcome to the Solar Sister channel. It's your girl Solar Sister. Coming to you once again with another video. Guys, I wanted to go ahead and finish out the So You Decided to Repatriate Now What series. This is part 3 and the last part of that series. I know the series took a long time for me to finish, but I'm finishing it today. Before we move forward, if you would go ahead, thumbs up the video, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Also hit that notification bell if you want to be made aware of upcoming videos. And feel free to share the video with anyone you think might benefit. So let's get into it. So you decided to repatriate, now what? Now, I wanted to talk in this series about what things you need to focus on or what things you can think about focusing on once you decided, once you made it to your country of repatriation. So once you've gotten there, I have 10 things that I want to talk to you about that you might want to try to do to help make your process a little easier. So the first thing that I would suggest is to give yourself time to adjust. Once you've gotten to your location, give yourself time to adjust. I mean, for me, I still can't believe that I've only been here a short period of time. I feel like I've been here a lifetime. I've said that before in videos. But I think it's because I felt like, I had to hit the ground running because I've mentioned before, I was one of those people who came without a guaranteed source of income. And so the way, things roll in the West, you got to make sure, you're putting things in order so that you can start generating income so that you can live. It's just this, you have this sense of urgency to try to get things worked out quickly so that you can make sure that you have things in place to make sure that you don't fall, I guess, so to speak. So I made sure that I was trying to put some things together, kind of thinking things through, trying to figure things out. So I feel like I gave myself time to adjust, but I still feel like I might have been a little bit hyper hyper focused on trying to get some things in place. So give yourself time to adjust, number one. Number two, figure out first things first. And I guess that kind of goes hand in hand. When I first got here, like I said, I stayed at a bed and breakfast or stayed at a guest house, a Gambian-owned guest house for 1 week, and then stayed at a B&B for 30 days after that. So I had somewhere locked down to stay for my first 5 weeks. But during that 5 weeks, I was making plans, trying to figure out where I wanted to live, trying to, just find a place that I could call home for at least my first year. So that was my first thing that I wanted to make sure I had was somewhere to live. But during the process of those 5 weeks, the first 5 weeks, I was, getting acclimated to the area, finding out where certain places were, figuring out the prices of certain things. Because being on the ground, is a little different than you doing your research on Google or what have you. So anyway, so that was what I was doing, trying to figure out how to get around and also trying to figure out, where things were, what the prices of certain food items were, etc. Number three, realize that everything doesn't have to be done overnight. And this kind of goes hand in hand with, the first one that I mentioned about give yourself time to adjust. Coming from the West, with no guaranteed source of income for me, I was still, trying to make sure that I was trying to put some things in place as quickly as possible. But of course, I still, gave myself time to find the right place, to live. Just, that 5 week process was enough for me. But some people may need a little bit more time, to try to figure out, where they want to be for a year or what have you. Some people may be deciding, they may want to buy land or what have you. But for me, my thing was to put the basics in place and then figure out from there, what I want to do next. Number four, show yourself and others some grace. Coming from the West, there's some things that we have gotten accustomed to. No matter how bad we felt like we had it in that particular place, there are some conveniences that make life easier. Um, Coming from a place where everything is done microwave quick, we may be used to a certain type of service or what have you. Um, what we're having to do is come here and unlearn a lot of the things that we learned in the West. Those behaviors may not fit, wherever you're going. So you need to learn how to give other people some grace, show them some grace, and just be willing to just unlearn some things that you've learned. Certain behaviors that you've learned that may not fit in your new place. So, number 5, try your best to learn the language at your own pace. So, for me, I think I was a little bit more focused on trying to learn. When I first got here, a lot of people here speak, well, of course, English here. English is the primary language here, but there are a lot of people who speak different languages. Wolof and Mandinka are 2 of the main languages that are spoken here. And so I had learned, I was picking up, some key phrases that I could use in Wolof and Mandinka, but I kind of gotten lazy because, of course, since, English, most people can speak some English here. It kind of makes you kind of lazy, but my goal is to become fluent in both. But since I'm going to be here, I'm working on that. I got to get back on working on that. Okay, number 6. And this was some information, actually this was some advice that was given to me by a Gambian who lives in my hometown. Very nice guy. I was so happy to meet him and his family. And it's funny because I didn't get in contact with them until about 2 months before I was getting ready to leave. But I feel like I've been knowing them forever. But one of the things that he told me the last time I saw him was, when I get to, the Gambia, the people are very nice and so forth, but he said, get low. And I understood what he said when he said it, because it just made sense the way he just he did his hand like this, like just get low. And basically what he was saying was to be humble, just be humble, be open, be friendly to people. And so that's what I think I've done, since I've been here, and it's made it easier for me to be able to meet people. And, just meet good people. But that is some great advice. Get low. Don't come in, being, your arrogant Western or American self, thinking that, everybody is so focused on you being the American, and here you are to save the day. Just get low, get low, get low. Number 7, be open-minded and have a balance of student-teacher mindset. And what I mean by that is that coming from the West, there is information that we have that may be helpful to the people of the country that you're going to. But we can't come in as if we are the ones who have all of the answers. We need to come in to learn as well as teach wherever we can, but we need to understand that we need to keep a proper balance. There's a way for you to share information without feeling like you're the one who has all the answers. And then there's something that everyone can learn from anyone. You can learn something from a child if you're willing, to be open-minded to get the lesson. So that's number 7. Number 8, plan for longevity. Plan for your basics, your food, your water, your shelter. I mentioned before, a lot of people may come and buy land or go wherever they're going and buy land, with plans to eventually build. Just figure out, whatever country you're in, figure out, what those laws and rules are about, you owning certain things, or you owning land. Figure out, what you're going to plan to do, with your, are you planning to, farm? Many of us are coming to, different countries and farming for the first time, or going back to farming. Maybe it was something we used to do, back in the day, and we're understanding the importance of it again now. So think about what you're planning to do when it comes to water, if water is an issue where you are. What is your permanent plan for, the basics, food, shelter, water, so forth. 9, be open to healing mind, body, and spirit. Many of us are leaving the West because the stress of the West was just too much. A lot of us are running for our black sanity. And so once we pull ourselves out of the West, many of us don't even understand like how much trauma we actually went through until we get to a place where we don't have to deal with it anymore. So whatever you find out about your trauma, be willing to heal it, be willing to feel it, to deal with it and to heal it, because a lot of times, with trauma, because it's so painful, sometimes you just don't want to, you don't even want to go back to that place, to try to work through it and figure out, how you feel or how it made you become the person that you are. So yeah, be open to healing mind, body, and spirit. And number 10, last but not least, realize that everyone is not meant to travel the journey with you. There are a lot of people that, many of us are having to leave behind, just protecting our own sanity. We're leaving some people behind who may not understand our reasons for wanting to leave, and that's okay. What I just suggest that you do is just continue to just think on those people when you get a chance, lift them up, with a prayer or whatever it is that you do, but don't be focused on their journey, just stay focused on yours. You had to do what you had to do for yourself. And again, you don't know how this choice that you've made for yourself is going to affect many generations to come. So I'm going to leave it right here. That's the 10 things. That's the end of this last part. That's the end of this series. This was the last part of the series. So you decided to repatriate. Now what? I hope you guys are having a great day wherever you are. But like I always say, if you can't do anything else, guys, protect your headspace, protect your heart space, and keep your vibration high. Until the next time, it's your girl Solar Sister. Peace.